Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So I will do the Champions League, Europa League and Conference League in another video coming up this week. We're just going to do our usual league catch-up. I'll get through as many leagues as I can and we'll start with the Premier League. We'll definitely look as well at the Championship, Scottish Premiership, MLS, Bundesliga, Serie A, Eredivisie, Ligue 1 and La Liga, and I'll see how many others I can get to as well. Okay, so Arsenal still top, 5 points over Man City, but Man City have a game in hand. And Manchester United had another win on the weekend, coming back against Crystal Palace. We'll talk about that in a minute because I've got a bit of a strong opinion on that match. Aston Villa dropping to 4th. 5th place will almost certainly be Champions League in the Premier League this year as well. So Liverpool currently, according to this, in 5th and outside of the Champions League, but I do not see a situation in which England don't get that extra spot. I think off the top of my head it is going to some weird ones. I think Poland are still in line with it, but a lot can change between now and the end of the year. It almost certainly is not going to Italy though, unfortunately for them. And Chelsea in 6th, Brentford in 7th, Everton, Fulham, Bournemouth, then bottom half Brighton, Sunderland, Newcastle, Crystal Palace in 14th, Leeds in 15th, Spurs having absolutely awful time. I'm watching that match on Thursday against Crystal Palace. That is a 6-pointer if I've ever seen one. Nottingham Forest in 17th, West Ham in 18th, Burnley in 19th and Wolves in 20th. West Ham looking at that next match against Fulham, thinking Nottingham Forest have got Man City and Spurs have got a 6-pointer against Crystal Palace. If they win that, they can surely get out and move closer to the pack above them. Okay, fixtures. Wolves, magnificent and surprising win in the rain against Aston Villa on Friday night. Gomes and a different Gomes with the 2 goals. Aston Villa were all over them, they saved it on the line and then run up the end and scored. A bit of a surprise, but hopefully a blip for Aston Villa. Wolves, however, chuffed for them because they've obviously had a terrible season and I really like the new manager. Bournemouth, Sunderland 1-1. Evan Nielsen again and Mayenda with the goals for each of those. Oh god, I don't even know where to start. Burnley 3, Brentford 4. Should have been the other way around. If I were a Burnley fan, I would be incandescent. I, first of all, don't agree that VAR should be there to measure someone's toe being offside or the sleeve of their arm being offside. So whilst that particular VAR decision to rule out the Burnley 4th goal, which at the time was a winner, although technically there's nothing wrong with that, I believe in Arsene Wenger's idea that it should be daylight. I simply don't believe that having your toe or your shirt sleeve ahead of the opposition gives you any advantage whatsoever. So technically that was a correct decision, but I just don't agree with the rule. And then the second goal that they scored, oh god, I can't remember what happened with that one now. But it was never, it should have, oh yes, it was Ashley Barnes and he hit it with his hand. I didn't see any evidence of that whatsoever. And I watched Match of the Day. Alan Shearer said that he had spoken to 5 officials. 4 of them said that they couldn't prove that it is his hand. We should be awarding goals. Life is hard and stressful. People go to football matches to unwind, relax, spend their extremely hard-earned cash on the entrance fees, which are very high and getting higher. We want more goals. If you're not sure, give the goal. They didn't. Ashley Barnes should have scored a lovely winner. Brentford run down the other end, of course they did, just like in any classic football manager simulation game, and scored a lovely goal. And another thing they said on Match of the Day, we should be lauding how well Damsgaard did, and the fact that Thiago scored again, Charlie scored a lovely goal. But instead we're talking about VAR. VAR, which I do believe in, but I think that they need to sort out the offside rule because it's ruining the game. The offside rule and the handball in the box at the minute, unless someone's hand goes towards the ball, it shouldn't be a handball. And if you're offside by like a hair, then that's not offside, I'm sorry. That's not what the rule was put in place for in the first point. Okay, anyway, rant over. Liverpool 5, West Ham 2. Weird, because West Ham played pretty decent. And encouragingly, another goal for new signing Castellanos. But excellent performance from Liverpool, and they scored 5 goals. Newcastle really struggling this season, and I think it's getting to the point where the manager is going to start getting pressure. Loss at home 3-2 against Everton. Everton and Barry in particular scoring yet again. After that complete barren run from him, he's having a much better time of things. But Newcastle, just every time they scored, Everton ran down the other end and scored again. So they look very fragile without Guimaraes. Leeds really should have got something out of this game in lots of elements. They were right alongside, 14 chances, 1.49 expected goals compared to 2. Excellent team goal finished off by Semenyo, scoring lots of goals since his transfer. Well done to him. I was really upset to hear the booing when they stopped to take on drinks for Ramadan. I just don't see the point in that, and I'm really shocked at the fans in the stadium. That's all I'll say. I read an article about it earlier on, and Leeds have failed to comment on it so far. I wish they would. Brighton 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Really important game. Apparently Brighton fielded the oldest Premier League team. I don't know, it wasn't like the oldest ever, surely it was only average age of 29, but in the starting lineup they had Gross, Milner, Welbeck, Dunk's quite old, he's 34, Milner is 40, and Welbeck is 35, so yeah, they had this quite an old team, and they're all clearly, still good enough. Fulham beating Tottenham 2-1, Harry Wilson masterclass. He did go off with a little bit of an injury at the end, I hope he's okay. Scored a wonderful goal, sort of half volley, and then set up Iwobi for Iwobi's absolutely lovely goal. Tottenham complained heavily of a push on by the Mexican for the first goal. I can understand why they think it was, but actually I don't think it was. I think Dragoshin should have been stronger and sort of saw the ball go over his head and then complained about it afterwards. I thought that it was just poor defending. And then Richarlison got the goal and then immediately had a fight. Classic Richarlison. Second assist by new signing Brennan Johnson in as many games. Lacroix scored. Then he got sent off, and the penalty was the winner by Fernandes. Oh, sorry, yes, Fernandes scored the equaliser, and then Šeško with a lovely goal. Again, he's up and running now, isn't he? He's looking much, much better. Totally disagree with the red card. I literally was watching it in disbelief. Lacroix barely touches him. It's outside the box. And I don't even think he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He's like to the edge of the box. It's like, say, the goalkeeper's there. So that's the middle of the box, penalty spot, he's up there, so he's coming from an angle. It's not a red card in a million years for me. Absolutely shocking decision, and the fact that VAR got involved and checked it and then said to the ref, who hadn't given him a red card, to give him a red card on top of what I thought wasn't even a foul, and it happened outside the box. I would be furious if I were a Crystal Palace fan. But Man United, all fair play to them, playing some lovely stuff at the minute. I went out for a meal, so I didn't watch this match, but I heard it was cagey and full of corners. And then I read the thing that an article about what Arne Slot said recently about how it's spoiling the Premier League, all these corner kicks, and I happen to agree. But I think, well, I know Arsenal's obviously famous for them this season, but I think someone else has got even more. I think Man United have got even more goals, or Liverpool have got even more goals from corners than Arsenal or whatever. So it's a Premier League thing. And he says he watches Dutch football, and if you push someone in the box, it's a free kick. And he can't understand how there's so much jostling. The thing is that I'm worried that if people see it happening in the Premier League, then it's going to get into the Champions League, and then it's going to go into Spain and Italy and the Netherlands, and it's going to spoil things. I don't like it. I prefer beautiful football, if I'm being honest. Well done to Arsenal, though, under pressure in a big game. They are still on for this amazing league title if they can get there. Good luck. Okay, Championship will take a cursory glance, but as we know, Swansea was thumped, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. So we've got Coventry at the top, and Middlesbrough falling away, no win in 3 for them now. Then Millwall and Ipswich. Apparently everyone's got Hull next. I don't understand how that's possible. Hull, you're playing 3 games at the same time apparently. Ipswich next, who thumped Swansea. Hull and Wrexham still going strong. Southampton, Derby, Watford, Bristol. I think we've decided that Swansea can't reach the playoffs now, that's fine. And then down the bottom, Leicester, surprisingly in the relegation zone, along with Oxford and the already relegated Sheffield Wednesday. And in terms of fixtures, Middlesbrough tonight are beating Birmingham, so they could get back to winning ways. Southampton, the latest team to beat Sheffield Wednesday. Millwall beating Preston 2-0. Then you've got Coventry, who beat Stoke. 94th minute winner from Rudoni, another goal for Haji Wright. Wrexham winning 1-0 with Rathbone. Hull beating Portsmouth with a goal from Crooks. And on Friday night, Bristol losing at home to Watford. Goals from Kierango and Ngakia. Okay, Scottish Premier League, because obviously it was the Old Firm derby which I watched this weekend. Hearts are still top as a result of that result. Rangers are in second, and Celtic, with a game in hand, are in third. Motherwell, I didn't spot them, and they were talking about them quite a lot. Motherwell are in fourth, and actually a win away from third. Quite exciting. Well done to them for just sneaking in at the last minute. Dundee Aberdeen 0-0. Dundee FC against Hibs 3-all. Falkirk hammering Killie 5-1. Hearts beating Aberdeen 1-0. Goal from Braga. Livingston 1-all with St Mirren. Motherwell beating Dundee United 2 goals from Maswan Hisse. One was a penalty. And then the Old Firm 2-all, which is a shocker because Rangers came out of the traps so hard. They were 2-0 up. I thought it was going to be a cricket score. Second half came out really hard as well, and then 5 minutes into the second half, Celtic just took control. Scored 2 goals, including a 91st minute equaliser penalty. Oh yes, he actually had the penalty saved. Then the rebound from Hatate was also saved. Butland did brilliantly. And then Hatate had his 3rd attempt, put it in the back of the net. So it was 2-2 in absolutely frenetic game, brilliant game of football. Quick look at the other British leagues. Cymru Premier, TNS obviously still top, Connors Key second after losing on the weekend, Penabont lost as well, Carnarvon won, and Llanelli have been relegated from the League. Bala still got a little chance of staying in it. And Northern Ireland Larne are top. They won their last match, so they are now 6 points ahead of Coleraine. Linfield in 3rd, and Glenavon are down the bottom, but they've actually won 2 of their last 3 games. So Crusaders need to look out, only 3 points away from them with no win in 5. Let's go to the MLS then, across the pond. Red Bull, 2 wins out of 2, are top of the Eastern Conference. Nashville, New York City, Chicago Fire, and Cincinnati make up the top 5. DC United sinking a little after a loss. Inter Miami. Okay, I thought they were losing, so they must have had a comeback. So they've got a win. Columbus Crew and Charlotte, Montreal down the bottom. And then in the Western Conference, San Diego with 2 wins, Los Angeles as well, San Jose as well, and Vancouver Whitecaps. LA Galaxy, Austin, Dallas, Minnesota, and Seattle Sounders make up the top 9, Sporting Kansas City down the bottom. They were losing 1-0 to Orlando when I checked, so Messi scored 2, and they won 4-2, so that would have been a bit of a shock if they lost their first 2 matches, particularly in the derby. San Diego beating St. Louis 2-0, Dreyer and Ingvartsen with the goals. Philly lost at home to New York FC. Goals from Wolf and the winner in the 99th minute from Gray. Vancouver in the Canadian derby against Toronto. Müller with 2 goals and White with the 3rd. LA Galaxy beating Charlotte 3-0, Sanabria and 2 from Klaus. LAFC winning their 2nd consecutive game, Delgado and Eustachio with the goals against 9-man Houston. And Salt Lake beating Seattle Sounders 2-1, goals from Hezachani and Piol. Still early days in that competition. Let's go to the Bundesliga then, where we saw the result of Der Klassiker between the top 2 Bayern München and Borussia Dortmund. Hoffenheim still in 3rd, Stuttgart in 4th, Leipzig and Bayer Leverkusen make up the European spots. Frankfurt getting more wins in there and their belt in 7th, Freiburg, Augsburg, Union Berlin, Hamburger, Mönchengladbach, Köln, Mainz, St. Pauli, Werder Bremen, Wolfsburg and Heidenheim down the bottom. I watched the Friday night match between Augsburg and Köln because of course I have the Augsburg top, so I'm interested in how they do, and I love Cologne. So it was a very tight game, not many chances, but Augsburg doing really well, and they scored the winner, the only goal. Hamburg lost home to Leipzig, 2-1 goals from Groth and Diamond. We'll talk about their classic in a second. Frankfurt beating Freiburg, Scheibe and Bahoya. St. Pauli with a win, away to 3rd place Hoffenheim Lager, with the only goal. That's a big win for them. And yeah, on Friday I watched Augsburg. Oh, it was 2-0 in the end. Oh, 95th minute when I turned it off. I thought it was over. Ribeiro with the first goal and then Claude Maurice with the second one. There weren't many chances in that game, I have to be honest. I mean, it says 14, but only I don't know, maybe they all came at the end or something. It was a little bit boring, I'll be honest. And then in Der Klassiker, Borussia Dortmund were winning up until, from the 26th minute until the 54th, when Kane scored his first. Then he scored a penalty in the 70th. Then an equaliser from Svensson in the 83rd, but then Joshua Kimmich with the winner on the 87th. So I think it's done and dusted. Bayern are surely going to be champions because no one can stop them now. Talked about no one stopping them. Inter are 10 points ahead of their rival Milan, who they face in the Derby di Milano next weekend. Napoli third, Roma in fourth. Absolutely crushing late goal by Juve against Roma in the Stadio Olimpico to stop them winning. They just cannot beat any of the big sides around them. Como still coming. I'm feeling more and more sure that they're going to steal that Champions League spot. Atalanta still in with a run, but a shock loss for them may have spoilt their chances of getting Champions League football. And then Lazio in 11th, Fiorentina in 16th, and Lecce, Pisa and Verona down the bottom. So Friday night, Parma and Cagliari 1-1, Como beating Lecce 3-1, goals from Duvikas, Rodriguez and Kempf. Napoli beating Verona 2-1. Højlund and late winner from Lukaku, 96th, on his return from injury. Inter champions elect at this point, 2-0 winners against Genoa, Di Marco and Cianalolu. Milan beating Cremonese 2-0, Pavlovic and Rafa Leao with the goals. Sassuolo with that shock win over Atalanta, Kone and Torsveld with the 2 goals for 10-man Sassuolo. Torino beating Lazio. Thrilling, stunning game of football in the Stadio Olimpico between the second best scorers after Inter in the Ligue, Juve, against the best defence in Europe of the top 5 leagues, Roma. Not that you can tell because there were 6 goals scored. Wesley, Ndika, Mala, Conceição, Boga and Gatti with the 93rd minute equaliser to stop the party at the Stadio Olimpico. And Wesley's goal was stunning. Conceição's was possibly goal of the season. And then, yeah, they were all just, it was a fantastic game of football. Very good advert for Italian football. Bologna beating Pisa 1-0, goal from Odgaard. And unfortunately Fiorentina losing this time to Udinese, a big game for them. 3-0, goal from Cavasele Davis and the Pole Buxa. To the Netherlands, Eredivisie, PSV Eindhoven not letting up, still quite a few points ahead. Feyenoord lost on the weekend by the looks of it. Ajax up to 3rd over Nijmegen, who have just lost. And Twente, Alkmaar, Sparta and Utrecht, who have got back to winning ways. Groningen are not winning at the minute. They have got Ajax next, and they're on something like a 6-match losing streak. Volendam doing pretty well and trying to stay up. Breda in 16th, Telstar in 17th after a win, and Heracles down the bottom. Who did they lose to then? So Utrecht beat Alkmaar 2-0, goals from Katlin and Stepanov. Twente beat Feyenoord, Hlunsson and Oriasater. And Ajax could only draw. Oh yes, it was Volendam that beat Groningen. Kovacs, Oelers and Muren with the goals. Sittard beat Nijmegen. Marquez I Hatteren, oh yes, ex-Juventus player, Hubner. And Telstar actually beating Breda on Friday night's match with 2 goals from De Comp and 1 from Brouwer. A League will just pop in briefly. Newcastle Jets are on top, 2 points ahead of Auckland. Sydney 5 points adrift, and down the bottom Wellington Phoenix and Western Sydney Wanderers. La Liga. Barcelona still top. At time of recording, Getafe 89th minute are beating Real Madrid in the Santiago Bernabeu. They've got so many injuries at the moment, Real Madrid. They're really struggling. Satriano with the only goal so far. I wonder if they're going to hand Barcelona a massive advantage then. We'll keep an eye on that. Levante beating Deportivo Alaves 2-0 on Friday night. Athletic Club drawing away to Rayo Vallecano. Iñaki Williams with a goal de Frutos for the Madrid club. Barcelona beating Villarreal 4-1. Hat-trick from Yamin Yamal and one from Lewandowski for good measure. Sociedad beating Mallorca 1-0. Atleti beating Real Oviedo 1-0. Elche drawing with Espanyol 2-2. Valencia finally getting a win. Ramadani with the only goal from a penalty spot. Betis and Sevilla in the big derby. Crikey, these two hate each other. 2-2. Anthony the Goat and Fidalgo against Sanchez and Romero. Anthony apparently man of the match. And Celta Vigo still going strong, well done to them. The Galicians Jutgla and Reis with an own goal, beating Girona 2-1. So Barcelona are top currently, 4 points ahead at this point. Depending on what happens tonight. Atletico Madrid back up to third over Villarreal. Real Betis now in 5th and Celta Vigo in 6th. So Celta Vigo doing well in Europe this year and looking good to get back into Europe next year. Athletic Club is still unbeaten, but they got Barcelona next. Valencia getting 2 wins in the last 3, and they've got Alaves next. Then Elche just hovering above the relegation zone, 2 points. Mallorca, Levante and Real Oviedo below them. Okay, Super League. Galatasaray top, Besiktas for them next, Fenerbahce second, 4 points below them, Trab in third and Besiktas in 4th. And down the bottom, Kasımpaşa, Kayserispor and Karagümrük. Most recent results then we can see Fenerbahce drew away to Antalyaspor 2-2. Goals from Mercan, Van der Streek, Sharif Ansari, 2 own goals. And Besiktas won away to Kocaelispor. Agbadu with the only goal of the game. When was Galatasaray? Oh yes, there you are. Alanyaspor 3-1 against Alanyaspor. Bowie, Torreira and Osimhen cancelling out Mooney's goal. Allsvenskan not back yet. Irish Premier Division is back. Bohemian are top. St. Pat's in 2nd and Derry in 3rd. Shamrock actually not doing that well. Win, draw and loss in 6th. It will be interesting if we did have a different winner of the league this year. Dundalk in 8th, Waterford in 9th and Sligo in 10th. I think Waterford are the promoted team this year, aren't they? So Bohemian unbeaten at the moment as well. Who beat Shamrock then? Oh, I see. Getting in early victory rights. Bohemian beating Shamrock Rovers 3-2. Goals from Parsons, Whelan and Tierney. And actually the 2 goals from Shamrock Rovers coming in the 92nd and 94th minutes. So it was 3-0. Okay, Serie A in Brazil. Palmeiras still top, unbeaten, and Sao Paulo also chasing them. They're looking to have a good start to the season. It's been a while since I've seen them so high. Very big club, obviously. Corinthians in 3rd, Bahia still punching above their weight in 4th, and Fluminense in 5th. Flamengo down in 11th, and Atlético Mineiro down in 17th. That's not good. Internacional even lower, 18th. Cruzeiro even lower, 19th, with Flamengo next. And Vasco da Gama 20th, and they have Palmeiras next. Oh dear. Palmeiras beat Fluminense 2-1, so Hockey and Alan with the 2 goals. Grêmio beat Atlético Mineiro 2-1 as well. Noriega and Marlon with the goals. Sao Paulo beat Coritiba 1-0, Souza with a penalty. And some matches were postponed, but Corinthians on Thursday beat Atlético Paranaense 1-0 with a goal from Garou. And then quickly getting through these other leagues, Ekstraklasa, Białystok are still top, but they haven't won in 3 games. So they are joint. Look at this crazy league. Zagłębie Lubin second, 38 points. Białystok with 38 points. Top. Lech Poznan in third with, yes, you guessed it, 38 points. What a title race this year. Górnik Zabrze, excuse me, fourth. They were 4 points behind now though, so Raków Częstochowa, Cracovia, Wisła Płock, all with 33, so 1 win from 4th. And down the bottom, Legia Warszawa still down there, cannot believe it. Widzew Łódź and Temelica Nieciecza. Recent results then, Lech beating Raków 4-3 with a 91st minute winner from Aniero. Białystok drawing with relegation threatened Legia Warszawa 2-2 with 2 own goals from Jagiellonia helping Legia out. Okay, then we go to the Liga Profesional in Argentina. Estudiantes still top. And that's of Group A. Boca in 9th, still haven't won, 3 draws. And in Group B, Independiente now are top, Tigre in 2nd, and River Plate have moved up a little bit with a win after 3 consecutive losses. They're in 6th. Racing down in 10th though. Although they're doing okay, win-win, draw-draw. And that is because, let's have a look, some results. Boca drawing with Gimnasia Mendoza, 1-1 Merientel and Paredes with the gold. River Plate beating Banfield 3-1, Cuarta, Driussi and Freitas, cancelling out Mendes, his goal. Yeah, Independiente beating Central Córdoba de Santiago 2-0. Late goals from Avalos and Marcone, 89th and 95th minute. Goals from them. To Mexico then, Liga MX. Cruz Azul now top, the capital team. Based in, of course, Ciudad de Mexico. Toluca in 2nd. Chivas now dropping to 3rd after 2 consecutive losses. Pumas in 4th, still doing well this season. Pachuca, Tigres, Atlas and Club America. Monterrey still out of the top 8, and Santos Laguna down the bottom. Tigres hammered America in Ciudad de Mexico 4-1, 2 goals from Bruneta, 1 from Angulo and 1 from Correa, former Atletico Madrid. Cruz Azul winning in Monterrey 2-0, Rotondi and Palavecino with the goals. And Toluca beating Chivas 2-0, Gallardo and Diaz with the goals. And lastly, Tijuana drawing 1-1 with Universidad Nacional, Arciga with the goal for the home team and Juninho with the goal for the away team. Liga Portugal, Benfica just had to check, still unbeaten. That is a crazy record. Porto top, Sporting chasing them. Can they catch them though? In 2nd. Benfica currently beating Gil Vicente 2-1. Pavlidis and Shelder up with the goals. with only 2 minutes to go in that match. Sporting beating Estoril 3-0, 2 goals from Suarez and 1 for Bragança. And similarly, Porto beating Arouca 3-1. Piutaszewski, Gomes and Moffi, 98th minute. Goal from him, getting the goals. And Belgium, Union Saint-Gilloise still top, but only by a point because they drew. Club Bruges are in second. St. Truide with a loss, putting them into third. I cursed them, obviously, noticing that they were doing well. Anderlecht in fourth, Mechelen in fifth. They're doing well this season. And Genk in sixth. By those matches, I'm assuming that we haven't split into the 2 groups yet. That'll be coming, in a couple of matches. So Genk beating Gent 3-0. Alouadi, Adeji, Sternberg and Soor with the 3 goals. And Club Brugge beating Charleroi away 2-1. Goals from Solis and Ordonez, 90th plus 10, so the 100th minute. Anderlecht hammering Leuven 5-1. Goal from own goal from Pletinks, 2 goals from Azar, Torgan Azar, Cvetkovic and Bertaccini with the other goals. Very quickly, Eliteserien hasn't started back in Norway yet. Superliga and AGF is top. Oh, really? Midtjylland is only second. Brøndby fourth. København is in seventh. What is happening? No win in 5 for them. Could we have a different champion in Denmark? How exciting. Sønderjyske even in third. These are teams I'm not used to seeing so high. Viborg in 5th. And Nordsjælland in 6th. Down the bottom are Velebo Group. Fredericia are actually in 10th. There we are. Austria, Salzburg are top. Sturm Graz in 2nd. And Linz down the bottom. No huge shocks in Austria. Switzerland, Thun are top. Oh my god, and on a fantastic run. 14 points ahead of St. Gallen. That is crazy. We're going to have a new champion. Is this Thun the one that only got promoted last season? I think I remember seeing this. And Winterthur are bottom. Well done to Thun. In Czechia, Slavia Praha are top, unbeaten, invincible season so far, but they are in the derby next against Spartak, and Sparta spoil the party. 7 points behind. They need to win to catch up. Jablonec in 3rd. That's good for them. Victoria Pilsen out of Europe now. They are in 4th. And Bohemians in 11th. Banik Ostrava down in 15th. That's really bad for them. Big club. And Dukla Praha in 16th. And in Ukraine, Shakhtar are top, but Cherkasy are in 2nd, only 3 points away. They lost their last match. And Dynamo Kiev are in 4th, with Policia Zhytomyr in 3rd. And Poltava are down the bottom. Interesting, so there's some crazy things going on in Europe at the moment. And in Asia, I don't think... Oh, we've had 1 game back in the K-League in Korea. Ulsan are top currently, although there's not much to go on. And the J-League in Japan, 4 matches in. Kashima Antlers are top. Tokyo Verdy are in 3rd. Wow. GF United Chiba are down the bottom currently. 100-Year Vision League East. Oh, have they got a new... Oh, they've split into 2. I'm going to have to read about that. They've done something with the Premier League. They've got 20 teams that they're doing in MLS. Oh, okay. I need to exit. I need to... Lots of new teams. Mito Hollyhock, Nagasaki, Okayama, Avispa Fukuoka, Varan, Nagasaki. Yeah, wow, okay. I need to work out what's happening here. And in the Saudi Pro League, Al Nasser Remember that Ronaldo, who went on strike, has never won the league in Saudi Arabia, so he's now top. Al Ahly in second, Al Hilal unbeaten, doing a Benfica, as we say, in third. Al Ittihad in fifth, and down the bottom, Najma, Al Najma. Oh, I forgot Greece, sorry. Olympiacos are top, Athens, AK Athens in second, Thessaloniki in third, but it's a tight race, only 3 points between the top 3. And Olympiacos have got PAOK next. Levadiakos in fourth, wow, ahead of Panathinaikos. Although you can see their form is very different, so they should Panathinaikos be catching up with them quite soon. Panserraikos in last place. Okay, that is all for today. I'm aiming to do more of these, and it was well received last week, so thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to click like, leave me a comment if you're happy, if you're sad, let me know, tell me how your team is doing, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're trying to do these every week, if not then every other week, and Champions League, Europa League, Conference League to follow very soon. Take care, see you soon, join me on Patreon if you love what I do, and I'll check you out.